Thinking back to it, I wonder if I had ever empathized with a man before. Looking into his eyes, I felt no fear, but I was still not sure I knew how to give him what he was seeking. I told him to come to my house the next day. He could not hide his elation. "What should I wear, mistress?" I told him to wear what his old mistress would have chosen to see him wearing. If you had passed my curtainless house the next day, situated on a bosky side street in the town, you would have seen me sitting in my big red leather armchair with my feet extended so a powerfully built man wearing ruffled panties could rub them. I had already sent him to the bathroom to wash my lingerie. I wasn't sure what kind of a slave he was, but surely holding a handful of a lesbian academic's dirty panties would be a bit of a thrill. Then while he rubbed my feet, I ordered him to amuse me by telling me stories of his San Francisco adventures. I often wonder today whether his mistress, I never asked her name, is one of the strong and beautiful women I now count among my dear friends. Certainly all the dominas I know are capable of such blessed cruelties as he described that day. What was your favorite scene? Mistress had a cabin in Tahoe and she ordered me to meet her there. It's a several-hour drive through Sacramento and she ordered me to wear these panties I'm wearing for you now. He hesitated expectantly. So I said, "Yes, those panties are lovely." I suppose it might have been better to say, "How humiliating!" But if this little bear of a man had first burned with shame being made to put on rumba panties, and pink ones at that, he did not show it now, because they were his link to his absent mistress. He wore them proudly. Go on, Stephen. "Oh, the panties were nothing compared to what else she ordered me to do. She wanted complete dominion over my cock. She would not let me touch it, not even to pee. She said until I came to her, the only thing that could touch my cock was her panties." Ooh, nice touch, mystery mistress. This, of course, was Steve thinking of nothing but his cock and her. It had already been a week. Every day I got up and put the panties on after my shower. I peed in the shower at home. That was easy. I wasn't allowed to masturbate or even scratch my balls, but peeing away from home was hardest. At work, she allowed me to pee sitting down. He blushed a little at this, as if this level of feminization got to him, an old Marine, in a way the panties did not. But on the trip, she told me not to do that. She gave me two choices. I was only allowed to use the urinal in the men's room. Oh, the truckers would love that, I bet. A tough guy carefully pulling down his pink ruffles, carefully practicing his no-hands aim. Of course, this was long before I got my own ex-trucker, who used to wear panties all the time. This is a useful lesson about humanity. You never know for sure what kind of underwear someone has on, unless you have the opportunity to check. What was your other choice? He blushed again. Mistress told me I was allowed to stop the car and pee outside. Sweet! Humiliation, cross-dressing, and exhibitionism. Not to mention the extreme focus of sexual deprivation, and I had racked my brain to come up with a panty washing idea. And what did you finally do? Steve spoke earnestly. This dilemma had clearly gripped him, and his erotic effect would be with him forever. Well, first, I just tried not to pee at all. But she had ordered me to drink soda while I drove, and the pressure got to be too much. I really tried, but finally I pulled off at a rest area and went out back. I don't think anybody could see me. His color heightened yet again. No, but he could hope. It's hard to pee no hands, you know, but I had been practicing in the shower. It was such a relief by then. He closed his eyes, the memory of this really big, satisfying piss still sensual for him. Was it daylight? Oh, yes. Steve had gotten to Tahoe and his mistress had done her worst. Tied to a rack in a ski cabin, his needy, lonely cock finally handled by her beloved hands, trussed in a complex net of bondage I could not quite imagine, even as he explained how she had done it. I would think you'd just shoot off being handled by her after so long without being touched. Steve glowed. I would only do it if she made me or told me to. My cum belonged to her, every drop of it. He looked at me hopefully. But sadly, I could think of no use of my own for Steve's cum. Then, cock and balls safely encased, she invaded his ass with a butt plug, the largest one I've taken so far, he said proudly, then flogged him until he whimpered her name and had to use his safe word. What word did she have you use? Pink panties, he said. It came out that Steve was married. He clearly wished to continue to serve me, by which I gathered he meant eat me out for the rest of the afternoon. But the phantom wife gave me the opportunity I had been looking for, a reason to abuse him. While not yet savvy about the psyche of the bottom, I felt that as a top, I needed to exert a little discipline. Why are you even here? I demanded. Why not worship your wife? Steve grew uncomfortable. Eyes low, he said, she's not into it. She doesn't like it. Fair enough. But as a feminist, I felt I needed to strike at least a small blow on her behalf. Then at least I hope you treat her like a queen. Oh, mistress, you're my queen. Stephen, stop that. I have not given you permission to call me mistress. You coward. And if you don't worship women enough to make your wife's life beautiful before you sneak across town hoping to eat my pussy is not ever going to be accessible to you. You selfish man, you are not worthy. I was trying so hard here. Still, I passed Steve on to a woman I knew who probably knew what to do with him after he rinsed the soap out of her panties. Even if she only got her kitchen floor clean, some good came of it. I, on the other hand, went to San Francisco to join the people Steve had left behind. I know now that perhaps his wife and he had a comfortable arrangement, though perhaps, like so many submissives, he really was a selfish man. It takes time, I suppose, to learn to be selfish. It is a quality some of us could use a little more of. I think of Steve now and thank him for being the first man to see the goddess in me and to give me the power and deference I am due. Each journey does begin with a single step, and perhaps without him I would never have spanked a butt red or gazed into the eyes of a submissive man or woman. Perhaps I would never have had the nerve either to give myself body and soul to a domina or to a master. But only to the very, very worthy. Most of us still blindly chase our worthiness or do not even know to seek it. Few have found it, but it is well worth the confusing and frightening search. Steve knew